So, when you think HR system, what comes to mind? Is it, clunky software and just endless spreadsheets? Let's flip that on its head. What if we saw it as the central engine for a company's most important asset, its people? Today, we're going to dig into how a great HR system isn't just about managing data, it's really about building the digital backbone of an entire organization.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll talk about the digital backbone itself. Then we'll follow the journey from candidate to colleague, get into the daily rhythm of work, look at how you nurture potential, and finally, wrap up with how you keep it all together.
But before we get into all the tech, let me ask you a question. What do you think is a company's most valuable asset? Is it the product, the brand, maybe the technology? Well, the real answer, it's the people. And every single system we're about to talk about is designed to support, manage, and ultimately empower them.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the digital backbone. This is the absolute foundation, the central hub of data that everything, and I mean everything else, is built on. At its very core, what we're talking about is creating one secure, accurate profile for every single person in the company. Just think of it as the single source of truth. This is what gets rid of all those conflicting spreadsheets and old, outdated files for good.
To make this all feel a bit more real, let's meet Alex. From the moment she gets her job offer to her 5-year work anniversary and beyond, her entire journey is going to be captured and supported right inside this central system.
Okay, so Alex is our person. Now let's see how this system actually handles her very first interaction with the company. Welcome to Section 2, from candidate to colleague.
You know how chaotic hiring can be, right? Well, this system turns all of that chaos into a really clean, logical funnel. It all starts with posting the job. Then it tracks every single application in one simple dashboard. And once Alex is hired, it gives her a totally seamless digital onboarding. So she is set up for success from day one.
And you might be thinking, okay, so what? Well, this matters a ton, because a really smooth hiring process, it sets the tone for the entire relationship with an employee. It makes an amazing first impression, and it helps new team members like Alex get up to speed and feel productive way faster.
All right, Alex is officially on the team. Now, let's get into the day-to-day, the rhythm of work. This section is all about the essential stuff that keeps the whole organization running like a well-oiled machine: payroll, leave, and attendance. And this slide, wow, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? On the one hand, you've got the old way, manual HR chaos. We're talking messy spreadsheets, constant risk of errors, a total headache. But on the other hand, you have automated HR clarity. This brings accuracy, saves so much time, and most importantly, it builds trust.
So the source material really boils this down to 3 core functions. You've got payroll processing, which handles all the salaries and benefits. Then there's leave tracking for all those time off requests. And of course, attendance records to log everyone's hours accurately.
But here's the bottom line, the thing that really matters. It's simple. Alex gets paid correctly and on time every single time. Now, this isn't just some administrative task. This is the absolute foundation of employee trust. When people know their pay and their leave are always accurate, it just removes this huge source of anxiety and lets them actually focus on their work.
Okay, so the daily stuff is handled, the rhythm is good, but what about the future? What about growth? That's where Section 4 comes in. This is all about nurturing potential.
And this is just so much better than that one big, scary annual review, right? Instead, think of Alex's year like this. In Q1, she sets clear goals. In Q2, there's a constructive mid-year check-in. And then in Q4, a full appraisal. It creates this ongoing, structured conversation all about her growth.
And I want to be really clear here. This is not about micromanagement, not at all. It's about clarity and alignment. The system gives both Alex and her manager a shared place to track progress, talk about challenges, and actually map out a real path for her career.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about the part of the system that's always running in the background, keeping everything safe, legal, and data informed. Section 5, keeping it all together.
This part of the system really acts as a critical safety net. It does 2 huge things for the company. First, it makes sure the company is following all those complex labor laws, which minimizes legal risk. And second, it turns all that employee data into fantastic reports that help leadership make much smarter, strategic decisions. So you see, it's a powerful win-win. The company is legally protected, and leadership gets the data they need to better support their most valuable resource, which, as we said, is their people. So for all you tech folks out there, you might be wondering what's actually making all this work. Let's pop the hood for just a second. The whole system is built on a pretty standard web stack. You've got HTML, CSS, and JavaScript creating the user interface. That's everything Alex actually sees and clicks on. Then on the back end, a language like Java or PHP is doing all of the heavy lifting. And finally, a MySQL database is what securely stores all of that critical data, from payroll to performance reviews.
You know, as we start to wind down, there's this quote that just perfectly sums up the whole idea here. The best systems don't just manage people like their resources on a spreadsheet. No, the best ones are designed to actually empower them, clearing away all the administrative junk and creating clear paths for them to do their best work.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. Are the systems where you work just tracking time and tasks, or are they actively unlocking the potential of every single person on the team? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.